Dear participants, we introduce Aquila Hakim for the presentation of academic research structure and format guiding principle for students.
Thank you very much. I'm named Aquila Hakim. I'm going to present on the topic, the basic academic research structure and format as a guiding principle for students. Um, uh, this this is the abstracts of this presentation of this research. The purpose of the guideline is to develop the basic academic research structure and format as a guiding principle for students with the two specific objectives, and that's to develop um, the a coherent academic research structure and academic research format. And uh, 117 dissertation reviewed and 88 key informants were interviewed, and then the simple random sampling and purposive sampling techniques were used for this study, and then and the data collected were triangulated, and then also pretests were used to use a CVI were deployed to ensure the reliability and validity of the data collection tools. Data was analyzed using the SPSS version 22. Descriptive and thematic analysis were used. Also, the ethical contribution were made by asking, having the permission from the universities and the respondents having the consent form before they participate in the research. These are some of the major findings. There is a significant variation on the academic structure and format across the universities. The structure variation and inconsistency were found in their contents and order of the titles and subtitles of the dissertation reviewed. This basic academic research guide is developed to set some standards and directions to enhance the objective grading and to enhance the objective of grading of the dissertation and evaluation level of universities. The guidelines it will contribute to the development of consensus on academic research structure and the format. Just to begin, some a bit of background on this academic on this research. I extracted this article from the research that conducted in South Sudan that evaluate the quality of academic research in the public universities. South Sudan, as a country, got independent from Sudan earlier in 2011. For some of us who may not know South Sudan, just separated in 2011 July from Sudan. Currently, there are only 5 public universities in the country. The research was conducted to fulfill the academic requirement for the award of degree of philosophy in public health, Texila American University. The academician and the scholars did not agree on one way of doing academic research. This resulted in the shortage of the competent and committed researchers to foster research and development efforts. Public health and medical care policies, guidelines, procedure are based on the research results. This is attributed to the lack of systematic introduction of undergraduates to research. As we know, health is not the merely absence of disease. That's where the research becomes very important. For all that what we do, it's based on the evidence base or from all schools of works. The study is the first of its kind in South Sudan after independence. The study focused on the procedure, structure, and format of the academic research. To become researcher is a process that requires step-by-step practice. The students need some basic standards to build foundation for conducting academic research. Fundamental aspects of the academic research are the structure and their format. Academic research formatting provides the consistency, user-friendly, reliability, focus on content, and facilitate practice of principles of discipline and adherence to the standards. The main aim of this guideline is to develop basic academic research structure format from the student with two specific objectives: develop coherent research structure and academic research format. Academic research is critical in its advancing healthcare services provision, highlighting higher learning institutions as the sources of the reproduction of researchers and scientists. Improvement of the academic research teaching through robust research procedure structure, format, and that are easy to be understood and applied by students. Development of the academic research knowledge and skills. It will also improve the quality of academic research at higher learning institute. Quality of academic research enhances institutional research profiles. Some of the methodology that we use, the design, that there was a descriptive cross-sectional design using both the qualitative and quantitative techniques. The sampling was mixed sampling method using random and purposive sampling technique. All 5 public universities were included. The lecturers and the dean were selected purposively. The student dissertation were selected randomly. I used the 3 tools, that's questionnaire, the observation checklist, and the interview guide. Ethical consideration introduction letter was obtained from the Texila American University. Permission was sought from the universities and for data collection, respondent consent before they participated, confidential ensured throughout. Data analysis that's simply that we use descriptive correlation regression were used through using of the SPSS and factor analysis. Some of the major findings is that general academic research, it has 3 components. That's the preliminary page, the body, and the references plus the appendixes. This is found to be consistent across the 5 universities. These 3 major structure. Come to the preliminary pages, there are substantial variations in the content and order of the contents when it comes to the preliminary pages. Then research body, the main chapters are similar, but the naming differs slightly. The content and order of the content in each chapter differs significantly. Variation and the title are used for 5 traditional chapters for the academic research. This is supposed to show the variation of the titles and the chapters that are used in the academic research. The content of the preliminary pages. These are some of the content that were found to be some of the most common use for content in the preliminary pages. The list were the list of equation, and the most frequently used was the acknowledgement, and the others, as you can see in the figure. So the availability of chapter and the reference and appendix. Yes, the list chapter that were used was chapter 5. Appendices were less than 50, and the references. But the others were that you can see for chapter 5 onward were frequently used in the academic research. Chapter 2, content. Some of the contents that were seen to be seen in chapter 2. In chapter 2, the more frequently used content or subtitle was introduction, but the lists were empirical, and the others less than 50%, as they are that whether the content in chapter two were used by the construct or by variables or a summary or a theoretical framework or by the objective or a conceptual framework. Those are some of the subtitles that were used to under chapter 2. In chapter 3, the list was research organization, but the most frequently used was the research design under chapter 3. The formats were mostly that the format is largely determined by the referencing style adopted by the university, meaning that the referencing style is the one that determines what kind of the format that you will use. If you use the APA or you use the Harvard, that will entails what kind of the formatting of the text that you can use. The most common referencing style, such as the American Psychological Association, and Harvard and Chicago, those were the most referencing style that were used in the 5 universities. Formatting of the dissertation consistencies with the insignificant variation that some of the formats that were used, they were not really very significant. The similarities are observed in font types, size, line, and the line space, paper margins, page style, and page position. Reference style varies significantly between the universities, faculties, departments, despite the presence of the academic research guideline in some of the faculties. References and appendices. Referencing style varies significantly between the universities, faculties, and departments, despite the presence of the academic research guideline in some faculties. There is mismatch between the referencing style adopted and the dissertation format. Over 90% of the dissertation has data collection tool in the appendices. Less than 50% of the dissertation has work plan and budget. In conclusion, this basic academic research guide is to develop, to set a standard and the directions, and it will also enhances the objective guiding grading of dissertation and enhance level of university. The guideline will contribute to development of consensus on academic research structure and format. Here is what has been that I have to recommend for as a structure for as an academic research for students. That would set some of the standards for students to be able to know what to put and where and when and where to begin and where to end. And that's the purpose of this recommendation. Looking at the preliminary pages and content and order. The title, the approval page, the declaration, dedication, acknowledgement, table of content, list of tables, list of figures, list of equation, abbreviation, then abstract. This is supposed to show structure. Can I please just a minute, I get it directly.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Mr. Aquila. Attendees, we are enabling the poll session for Mr. Aquila. You can start polling for his presentation. Also, we are open to the QA session. You can post your questions in chat box or QA box where Mr. Aquila will answer for that. Mr. Aquila, we have one question like, what is the public health impact of your study? This should be done by someone in Faculty of Education.
Yes, that's true. That's the question that I have been asked several times. And as you can see, even from the presentation that we have all here is all different, and it's confusing for people that are starting to learn. As I said, health is not the absence of disease. So the importance of this is to have people that you have to have a basic knowledge on the researchers, so that they will be able to foster and becoming the career in the research. The students are discouraged to become researchers because of the way the research is done at the undergraduates, and they tend not to have the interest in the research, and that's impact the public health in when it comes to making decisions. Decisions are later made on subjectively, starting from the even grading of the academic research itself, without the standards, that people will not be able to grade the research, the academic research. And here, when you come to the field of the health field, all is based on the evidence, and the evidence you must have some basic of how you can conduct a research, be it a health research or education research. It's all what it comes later is to come to the well-being of the human being, or the well-being of the people.
Thank you, Mr. Aquila. Attendees, do you have any more questions for Mr. Aquila? You can post your questions in Q&A session.
Here is some of the slides that we're not able to show before. This is what I wanted to show, how the structure will look like.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Aquila.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.